Okay guys, welcome to this PowerPoint presentation made explicitly by White Rose Maths. So this is fully copyrighted from the White Rose Maths website. Okay, White Rose Maths are a fantastic resource, okay, for primary school students and secondary school students, as well as primary school teachers and secondary school teachers, as well as post 16, okay, level maths. Okay, so please do go ahead guys and check them out in your spare time. Okay, it's fantastic revision for GCSE maths as well. Okay, in today's video, looking at solve linear equations, so solving linear equations. So this is aimed at key stage 3 level maths and even GCSE level maths. So get ready, okay, for the white road. Okay guys, so looking at our starter. So given that t is equal to 10, work out the values of 5t. So 5 lots of 10. Here are the White Rose Maths answers. So it cut me off actually on the previous slide, sorry. So 5t means 5 lots of t. So 5 lots of 10 is 50. For part B, it's 10 divided by 5, which is 2. For part C, it's 3 lots of 10, which is going to be 30, plus the 7 is equal to 37. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 5 take away 8 is negative 3. So be very careful there, okay, for that one. Okay, let's learn. Okay, solve the equation x plus 26 is equal to 45. Well, I want to get x by itself. So the opposite of adding 26 is to take away 26, okay, on both sides, okay, to balance the equation on both sides, okay. So I get x on the left-hand side, 45 take away 26. Well, again, I can just do like a little column subtraction, okay. So 5 take away 6, I can't do, so I have to borrow. That goes to 3. That now becomes 15. 15 take away 6 is 9. 3 take away 2 is 1. So x is equal to 9t. Okay, and that's how we solve the equation. So minus that on both sides. Okay, for that. Okay, here we go. So we're doing the inverse process. Okay. So the inverse of adding 26 is to subtract 6. Okay. This next part, what inverse operation would you use to solve these one-step equations? Well, for this one, 3a, so 3 times a, so the opposite of times by 3 would be to divide by 3. So you would divide both sides by 3 to work out what a is. Sorry about this, guys. Okay, for this next one, the opposite of minusing 7 is to add 7 to both sides. Sorry about my coughing, guys, I apologise. B is equal to 35. Okay, the opposite of dividing by 4 is to multiply by 4. Sorry about this, guys, I apologise. So C is equal to minus 36. And for this next one, I've got to take away 5 first and then divide by 2. And 4 and then divide by 2 and I get E is equal to 12. Okay, so solving this equation, guys. Okay, so 3a equals 42. So dividing both sides by 3 gets the value of a, okay, because 3a, remember, means 3 times a, okay, or a times 3, okay. So a times 3 equals 42. So the opposite of timesing by 3 is to divide by 3. So dividing both sides by 3 to balance the equation respectively, we get that a is equal to 4t, okay. Here is a White Rose Maths key bar model to show this. We got a there. We got a there, we got a there, we got 42. Okay, so each part is 14. Okay, there we go, divided by 3, a is 4. B minus 7 is equal to 28. Well, the opposite of minusing 7 is to add 7. So we add 7 to both sides to balance the equation and isolate and get the letter by itself. So balance the equation respectively. 28 plus 7 is 35. Okay, here we go. So this is the bar model to represent it. Okay, B is 35. Okay, 35 take away 7 is 28. This time, multiplying both sides by 4, okay, to isolate and get C by itself. C is equal to minus 9 lots of 4 minus 9 multiplied by 4, or minus 9 times 4, which is minus 36. Okay, because a negative times a positive, the sign of my answer is a negative. 9 times 4 is 36. Okay, 9 fours are 36. Here we go. So getting C by itself, okay, times both sides by 4, we get that. This one here, I'm going to subtract 5 on both sides first of all. So I get 2e is equal to 24. And then divide through each side by 2, okay, to get e by itself. I get e is equal to 24 divided by 2, which is 12, okay. Here is the answer from White Rose Maths. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay, solve the equations. Okay, so pause the video and have a go at these questions, and then press play when you're ready. So this one here, I'm going to take away 8 on both sides to balance it. So I get C over 6 is equal to 4. Multiply both sides by the 6. So we get C is equal to 4 lots of 6. So C is equal to 24. Okay, and you can check your answer by subbing it back in. 24 divided by 6 is 4, plus 8 equals 12. So that is correct. Okay, I could have times everything by 6 first, okay, and then rearranged it. That would also work. Okay, but this way, makes this maths a bit easier to deal with. Okay, this next one, I'm going to multiply both sides by 6 first. Okay, so I get C plus 8 equals 72. Okay, 12 sixes are 72. Take away 8 on both sides to balance my equation respectively. Okay, C is equal to 64. Okay, that's my answer for that question. Okay, here are the White Rose Maths answers. Okay, D is 64. Okay, solve the equation 7 equals 26 minus A. Well, I'm going to add A to both sides to make it positive. I get 7 plus A is equal to 26. Take 7 from both sides, so subtract 7 on both sides. To balance the equation, we get that A is equal to 19. Okay, is it 19? Yes, it is, yep. Okay. Okay, so again, this is what they got. Okay, subtract 7, we get A is 19. Solve each of these equations, so pause the video, guys, and have a go. Okay, for this one, I'm going to subtract 10 on both sides first. So I get 5a is equal to 30. Divide both sides by 5. Okay, I get a is equal to 6. Okay, so divide both sides by 5. We get that a is equal to 6, guys. Okay, for that one. Okay, for this one here, I'm going to subtract 5a on both sides. So I get all my a's on one side. We get 10 is equal to 35a. Dividing both sides by 35 to get a by itself, okay, we get 10 35ths is equal to a, okay, and that fraction here can be simplified, okay, but I'll leave it like that, okay, so a is equal to 10 35ths, okay, but if you want to simplify it, I can divide top and bottom by 5, so I get 2 sevenths, okay, so a is equal to 2 sevenths in its simplest form, or 10 35ths. Okay. In a typical exam scenario, especially on a GCSE paper, they won't penalise you, okay, for not actually simplifying it, okay, so they will accept the answer of 10 35ths, okay, so don't panic yet about simplifying it in this context, okay. Here are the White Rose Maths answers. A is 6, okay, we get A, okay, so this last one, guys, okay, so solve this equation, okay, I'm going to subtract A on both sides, okay, because in a minute I've got a's on both sides. I want to get all the a's on one side. So I get 2a plus 7 is equal to 26. Take 7 from both sides, okay, I get 2a is equal to 19. Divide through both sides by the 2, okay, so dividing both sides by the 2, okay, I get that a is equal to 19 halves, okay, or 9.5, okay, or 9.5. Okay, any of those answers would suffice, okay, 9.5 or 9.5, okay, for that, okay. So this is looking at solving equations when you have letters on both sides. Okay, so this one's slightly more advanced. Okay, so this would typically appear on an end of a GCSE foundation and or the start of a higher tier paper. Okay, so this is looking at grade, potentially a grade 4, 5. Okay, we're looking at now. There we go. Okay, so solving that, we get that. Okay, so the rest of that. So 2a is equal to 19, a is equal to 19 over 2, okay? Okay, so this last question, guys, okay, for today's video. What would be the first step you would take to solve these equations? So the first step here is I would take away 3y on both sides, okay? I could take away 4 on both sides, or I could even take 8 from both sides, okay? But my first step would be to get all the y's on one side. So I get 2y, okay, plus 4 is 8, okay? And then I'll solve it as normal by taking 4 from both sides, dividing through by 2. This one here, I would expand the bracket first. So I get 16, okay, plus 6y. Okay, that's my first step. For that. For this one here, I would subtract 5 on both sides. Okay, that's my first step. So I get 4 is equal to 10 plus 3y. This next one, I would add 8y to both sides if it was me. But again, there is more than one, first step, okay, or more than one way of doing like a first step, okay, like for your answer. So I get 4 is equal to 10 plus 11y. And then I would obviously just solve it as normal, okay? But the question here is asking, what would my first step be, okay, so that I would take, okay? So for the first one, I would take 3y on both sides. For the second one, I would expand the single bracket on the right-hand side. So expand bracket. For the third one, I would take 5y from both sides. And for the last one, I would add 8y to both sides. Okay, so they would be my first step, okay, to solve the equations. Okay, and then from there, I could just do the usual business here of doing the inverse operation. Okay, or BIDMAS backwards. Okay. Okay, so this is the white rose math answer. So they would have seen minus 3y, expand the brackets, minus 5y, okay, and plus 8y. Okay, so same as me. Okay, but again, there is no one right answer. Okay, for the first one, I could have taken 4 off both sides. Okay, so okay, for the first one, okay, and for the third one, I could have taken 10 or 4 from both sides, and even the fourth one, I could have taken 10 or 4 from both sides. Okay. But that is what the first step that I would do to solve the equation, okay? But again, it doesn't necessarily mean that that is the step you would do, okay? But that's a step that I would take, yeah. If I saw this here in like an exam situation, okay, that is my gut instinct. So that is my instinctive response, in terms of what step I would do, okay? Right, guys, that's the end of today's lesson on solving equations. Hopefully you found it useful. Okay, sorry about coughing at the beginning of the video. Okay, hopefully you can forgive me, okay, for that. Okay, hopefully you found it informative. If you did, please like, please comment, please share, please subscribe, and I'll see you all inside the next video. Okay, bye for now. Take care. All the best.